Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do an update video. This is where I talk about things that I have recently spoken of on my channel, and usually I will say I'll update you, or palettes that I had more than one of, like the e.l.f. palettes that I wanted to try out and then let you guys know how I felt about them. Products that I had an issue with, did I still have an issue with them whenever I use them again, yada yada, and just general updates. I'm actually running late to be early to Pilates. I like to get there early so that I can stretch out and everything before my session. Everything is a mess today. I don't have any service on my phone. My Wi-Fi is not working. My actual service, like my carrier, that's not working. I don't know if the storms, we had major storms last night. I don't know if something is out. Can't get a hold of my husband, can't get a hold of Pilates, can't get a hold of Verizon. I don't know. So here I am. I'm just going to update you guys on some beauty products. And I'm going to start off with what I have on my eyes right now and what I had on my eyes in yesterday's video. I talked about these in a get ready with me trying new makeup, and it's the e.l.f. bite-sized shadows. I am so impressed. There's only one palette that I haven't used, and that's this one right here, which I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think the whole line is amazing, and I have no doubt that this one is as well. The one that I haven't tried, it's called Berry Bad, which definitely would have gone with this hat and my whole look today. But I really wanted to try out the purple one, which is this one right here. This is the ICU palette. I wanted to try this one and the green one specifically because I know that those shades are typically hard to formulate. Even in higher end palettes, sometimes these type of shades can be very hit or miss. I am wearing, you guys couldn't even see that, could you? This is the palette that I am wearing today in conjunction with this palette right here, which is called Rose Water. So these two I have on. The one thing I will say is that because there's only 4 shades, like this one right here, it's all purples, I felt like I needed to go in with something else. So I used this shade right here in this palette first, and then I went in with all the shades in this palette, and then I used the 2 shimmers of this one. I can't believe how well that these work. I would say out of the bunch that the purple is the least impactful, but still a good palette. And this one blew me away. Again, I had this on in yesterday's video. I wore this to the post office and I got so many compliments. People were asking me what was on my eyes. I was like, it's $3, a $3 little e.l.f. palettes. But I did have, again, in conjunction with these greens, this one right here, which is called the Truffles palette. I've used all the shades in here, so good. And then the one you guys already have seen me use is this one, which is called the Cream and Sugar palette. These are $3 a piece. I'm sure I've already said that, but I cannot believe the amount of pigmentation, blendability, everything that I got from these palettes. I have not heard a lot of people talking about these. I know Andrea talked about them and she loved them, but I feel like people are sleeping on these and you shouldn't. These are a definite hit. Sticking to eyeshadow palettes, I accidentally left this out of my favorites. I know I put a little comment in the description box telling you guys that this was a favorite, but I want to talk about it right now. This is the Latte 2 palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I have really been enjoying this. I have been staying more on this side of the neutrals, the natural tones, because that is my daily wear type of look. And yes, I realize I'm wearing purple today, but I really just wanted to try out that purple palette from e.l.f. But in here, I have just been loving this. My biggest critique has been that I didn't think that we needed both of these shades or both of these. Like it just, you know, you have 2 really light shades and then 2 really dark shades, and I feel like there should be a transition shade. However, what I've been doing is just mixing this one or this one in with one of these 2 to create just something a little bit lighter. And that's always something that you can do in any type of palette that you're just like, you know what? I wish there was a shade just a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. You can go in with a black and mix it in. But this is just such a good palette, and I love this shade right here. Frappe, oh my goodness, I just think it adds a beautiful sheen, a beautiful just glisten to the eye that I'm obsessed with. I think that this palette is beautiful. All the shades in here perform really well, and I am in love with it. And this shade right here I have also used as a blush. What color I use? Strawberry Milk. This is just a gorgeous palette, with the original Latte being my favorite from the entire collection of palettes that she has done. I think this was a good choice to add to the line, and it's definitely a palette that I would suggest. Foundations. I have two that I need to update you guys on. One, this one was done very recently. It's the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Foundation, and I had a reaction to it. I want to let you guys know that when I took my makeup off the day of the actual review, I had told you guys that I was having a little bit of tightness, itchiness. I had a little bit of burning whenever I put it back on, and I know a lot of people thought that it was the SPF. It's not the SPF. SPF does break me out most of the time. But there's foundations like the Shiseido, the one that I tried out yesterday has SPF in it. A lot of foundations have SPF. The La Mer foundation has SPF. The worst thing it's going to do to me is break me out. I don't typically have an actual reaction to it. So I think it's either the fragrance or possibly the hyaluronic acid that's in here. I read a lot of comments, and then I started to do a little bit more research about hyaluronic acid, and it's kind of tricky. You can't put hyaluronic acid on top of the skin and then not put anything else on top of that. But then it makes me, it will draw the moisture out of your skin, which could be the reason why I was having that dry feeling. But it makes me wonder about the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder, because I don't feel like that happens with that powder. So I'm a little confused about that. Right now, I'm kind of just boiling it down to the fragrance in here. I might be developing a sensitivity. I know that there are other things that I have that have fragrance in it that I don't have any reactions to, so I'm just kind of confused. It could be so many things, but I don't think that it's the SPF. But I did have like a rash and just like tiny little whiteheads, so I wouldn't say breakouts. I did break out like with actual pimples, but I'm talking like those tiny, teeny tiny little whiteheads that you can almost only see if you're really close to the mirror. I'm not putting this back on. I do think that this is a beautiful foundation. I think it looked nice on my skin and it lasted really well. I'm going to gift it to my mom, but I am going to tell my mom to do a little patch test first. No, I'm not being mean to my mom by being like, hey, try this foundation out. I had issues with it, but maybe you won't. I know it sounds really bad, but I'm going to tell her to do a little patch test first and see if she has any issues with it before going forward. But she and I, like some of the things that she can use, I absolutely cannot. So I'm hoping that maybe this works out for her. Again, another foundation, this time from CoverGirl. This is the Clean Fresh Skin Milk. All right. In my video, I used this. I noticed a scent with this that I didn't like. It smelled a little weird to me. Not fragrancy, just, I don't know, it smelled strange. With this, I noticed first on my dish, what I put my foundation on is this little dish right here, and then I grabbed from that and put it onto my skin. Well, as I was applying it to my skin, I started to notice on the dish that as the liquid was coming away, there was little pieces in the foundation. And I am nearsighted and my mirror is very far away. When I got close up, I saw that it was also on my face. I was like getting little flakes of something off. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just this one. Maybe I just had a random bottle that didn't work out for me, and this was sent to me in PR, so I have all the shades. I shook this one up, and I made sure to shake the other two up that I tried. I didn't leave it on my skin because this does have ingredients that will break me out, but I wanted to see if the pieces were in other shades as well, and they were. In both of the shades, I did it twice, and those little pieces, whatever they are, were in both of the other shades that I used. So this, to me, is just a miss. I'm not playing with that any longer. I have one concealer, and this is, no, I have two concealers. This one right here is from ColourPop, and it is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. Hyaluronic acid seems to be in absolutely everything. It's like the new it ingredient. This was beautiful on me. I have used it a couple times since, and I think that it looks great on my skin. I feel like it looks really natural. It looks smooth. I didn't have any issues with this, and I will continue to use it. I won't pick it up over my favorites, but it will be something that I grab for because I think it's really pretty, very natural, and I like the color. The color that I use is number 60N. I thought that 40N was going to be the color, but 60N ended up being the one that really works for me. Next up, I have the JOUER Essential High Coverage Pen. This looks good when you first apply it. It's creamy, but not too creamy. It covers, but it's not like, I don't know, cakey or anything like that, until you put powder on top of it. I remember in the video that I let you guys know that I wasn't as happy after I powdered as I was prior to powdering it. So I decided to try it without baking, using different powders, not using my anti-fatigue under eye primer, using my anti-fatigue under eye primer, and just kind of testing it out different ways. And the only way that I think that this will work is if you don't set it, or if you don't have any issues with your under eyes. For me, no matter what I did, I got really crepey and dry underneath my eyes. So I think this is just too dry for me. It does offer great coverage, and when you first apply it, it is very smooth. It looks nice. I feel like it really perfects the under eye, but as soon as powder touches this, it's a no-go. And it doesn't matter if it's a light application or baking. For me, it doesn't matter. So this is something that I am not going to pick up any longer. But if you're somebody who does not set your concealer and you want something that's matte and a good coverage and a clicky pen, this might be for you, but I'm not excited about it. It's not something that I really would recommend. This obviously worked out for me because I purchased a full size. This is the Makeup Forever Light Velvet Air Shine Control Refreshing Spray. I got the smaller version before I decided to buy the larger one. I ran out of the smaller one about halfway through using the smaller one. I knew I liked it. It gives this like velvety texture to the skin. It's kind of satin, kind of matte, like right in between. Now, I have to tell you, I purchased this halfway through using my other one. I got a dot or two and they just blended away. You know when you get those shine control sprays and you get those dots all over that I absolutely cannot stand? There is, you can hear, there's a thing in here that shakes it up, and you have to make sure that you do that. I noticed that when I got at the very bottom of the mini size that I got more dots on my face, and I don't know if that's just because more of like the powdery type of substance that is in this had collected at the bottom and then sprayed out on my face. The good news is that they blended off of my skin really easily. Others have not. I have had some actually take off my makeup when I try to fix that, and I've had to go and completely wash my face and start over. This one, when it did it to me, it was able to just kind of be buffed off my skin, and I had no issues. With this one, I'm gonna have to give you another update because I have used this and I haven't had the dot issues. I make sure to really shake it up, but I wanna see what happens when I start to get further towards the bottom, if I have the same type of problem with the dots. But again, I have to reiterate that they blend off the skin really easily. All I do is take something, like this is the Wayne Goss number 5, number 2, and I will just do this and it will come off. You do have to add a little bit of pressure, but those little dots, they will just come right off. The last thing that I have to update you guys on is the new Milk Makeup skincare. I have the Vegan Milk Cleanser as well as the Vegan Milk Moisturizer. I really enjoy this. This feels so luxe on the skin. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more aimed to combo to dry skin, but it sinks in very nicely. I feel like it wears underneath my makeup nicely. It just makes my skin feel so luxurious. I really enjoy this, and the packaging is beautiful. Now, this right here, I'm kind of confused about. I don't remember feeling this type of texture whenever I used it the very first time, but I'm starting to notice that I can feel like a little bit of something left on my skin. It's nothing that like I feel when I touch my skin or anything like that. It's just, I think it's different than what I'm used to. I'm used to my TATCHA double cleanse. And so when I use this, the feeling that's left on my skin is a little different. I still feel hydrated. I still feel clean, but I feel like there's something that's left on my skin and I can't quite figure that out. It's not breaking me out. I'm not having any issues with it, but I just want to mention that it's not heavy. It's just something that I noticed, and it could simply be because I've been using the TATCHA Deep Cleanse for so long that this is just a different feeling. The TATCHA Deep Cleanse almost leaves like a satin finish on the skin, and this one is just doing something just a little bit different, but I like the way that it cleanses my skin. I like that it doesn't dry me out. For the cleanser, I think I'm gonna have to keep you guys updated still, but for the moisturizer, like, it's just beautiful. I love it. All right, you guys, that is it for my updates. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there's something that you are wondering about, and make sure that you're checking out my favorites and fails, because if I've talked about something there, traditionally, I don't talk about it here. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.